Oh boy, have I been busy since my last YouTube video. If you're new here, which let's be honest, you probably are, this is only my second YouTube video ever. My name is Ken and I run StyleBidder, a secondhand retailer that specializes in vintage and designer menswear. After 12 years of selling on eBay and Grailed and in in-person pop-ups, I finally launched my own web store at the beginning of April. If you follow me on Instagram, I documented some of the process, but that honestly barely even scratched the surface of the things I had to get done to get the site up. As part of the launch, I wanted to include 100 new items, which was a lot of work because I measure everything, I steam everything, I photograph everything, and then it has to get listed on the site. There was also a lot of technical things that needed to be done, like figuring out how to get my email list set up and how to make sure I get paid when people buy things. And unfortunately, one of the things that fell by the wayside in this whole launch process was getting videos up on YouTube. I really wanted to do a video when the site went up and kind of go over everything. And unfortunately, I didn't get it done. But the good news is the site is up. There's always room for improvements, but it's there. I can work towards it, and you guys can still check it out. There's still a lot of great stuff from that initial launch. And over the weekend, I just listed 75 new pieces, and I just wanted to take some time today and show you some of my favorites. I'm gonna pick out 10 items that I think are special, talk you through why I think they're special, and why I decided to include them in this curation on my site. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start things off with one of my all-time favorite brands, and this might even be my favorite piece in this most recent drop, but there's a very good reason why we're starting with this one. So this is from Engineered Garments. I believe this is from Spring Summer 2015. They call this the Baker Jacket, which is kind of an Ivy style blazer. They do a 3-roll 2 with patch pockets. Maybe the one break from Ivy style is they have double vents instead of a single vent. What makes this one special, and I'm sure you've already noticed it, is this just amazing floral print cotton canvas fabric that they made this in. It's kind of lighter weight than what you normally associate with canvas, but that's what they call it. Now, the reason why we're starting with this one is honestly being in engineered garments is kind of what set me down this whole path of running the business that I do now. When I first got into this brand, I could not afford them, but I really wanted their stuff, and I started looking for deals online, started figuring out shopping secondhand, how to do that, and one thing leads to another, and now I'm doing this full time, selling secondhand clothing. So kind of a cool one to start with, and yeah, just a really amazing piece for the spring, summer. Next up, let's keep it in the blazer realm. This is just a really beautiful vintage Patchwork Madras blazer. This is from the brand Corbin, which they're kind of known for making trad Ivy League stuff, especially their patchwork tweed sport coats that they make are kind of a grail in that community. This one isn't quite like true vintage 60s. This one's probably a 90s one from them. But what really struck me about this one is the tones of the fabrics that they used. I actually listed 3 different Patchwork Madras blazers as part of this most recent drop, but this one's just one of the most unique ones because it has all of these matching fabrics. Everything's kind of got a purple undertone to it, and it's kind of a darker Madras selection. I mean, if you want to compare it to like this Joseph A. Bank one that I listed, you know, this one's kind of more traditional. It's multicolor, you got every range in there. These are nice, obviously kind of a traditional style one, but I feel like this one's just a lot more wearable because of the, you know, coordinated color palette that's involved here. So let's stick with the patchwork theme here and talk about this one. So a couple of years ago, I was doing a bunch of pop-ups, and I kind of pegged that rugby shirts were very popular, and I kind of just made it my thing. There was actually even a few pop-ups I did where I had a whole rack this size just of rugby shirts. And I wanted to carry some of that energy into the web store drop. So this is one I included. I actually have a couple of this style listed right now. These are from Canterbury of New Zealand. And they call this the ugly rugby shirt. Essentially, they use scraps of all the other rugby shirts they make to make this really unique one-of-one patchwork style in which almost every panel is done in a different striped fabric. Just a really cool concept, really fun. I think it's a very whimsical piece. You know, you can wear a very basic outfit and throw on something like this, and all of a sudden you have a really unique fit. All right, what next, huh? Yeah, I mean, patchwork, it's a theme here. This one's from OrSlow, Japanese brand that kind of focuses on workwear, repro styles pieces. This is, you know, what you would call a fun shirt. This was a style that was popularized in the 70s by Brooks Brothers. Theirs are traditionally done in a striped fabric, with each one being different colored stripes. This one is done in denim, so kind of just a unique Japanese Americana twist on a classic. All right, what next? Let's show you some outerwear. This one is not really seasonal. It's probably better for fall, but I got it in on consignment and it's pretty cool, so I wanted to include it in the web store drop. This is from the Korean brand Document. This is their label, kind of a minimal label there. You might recognize them from No Man Walks Alone. They were kind of the store that I knew of that first exposed me to this brand. And this is just a very good example of what they do best, which is they kind of take these military inspired designs and kind of update the fit for modern day. And the other thing they really focus on is fabrics. So this is just a really nice brushed moleskin fabric, which is just an underrated, underutilized fabric in my opinion. And of course it's just done in this really beautiful reddish brown. And the fit on this is just really cool. It's boxy, it's cropped. I mean, you really can't not look good when you're wearing something like this. All right, here's another, it's kind of funny, I didn't realize it's also a very boxy cropped piece. This is from Maison Margiela. This is from their line 10-1, which is kind of their unisex line. It's just a really nice Anorak jacket. What's unique about this is it feels like a traditional like windbreaker, waterproof type material, but this is actually a cotton that I'm assuming they must coat. It has some waterproof capabilities, but I wouldn't go out rocking this in heavy rain. But yeah, this one's crazy. The chest is wider than the length, so just super boxy fit, really big hood, just kind of one of those playing with proportion things that Margiela does like nobody else. Also in outerwear, we have this really unique piece from Dr. Collectors, which is a brand I only recently became familiar with. They make all of their pieces in the United States. They kind of have this boho aesthetic. It's definitely Japanese inspired. Someone reached out to me for a clothing buyout, and this was included in it. And I was just really impressed with the handiwork on this. It's a garment dyed. It's a cotton canvas, but it's quilted. And then it also has these shishiko fabric details. But the silhouette is essentially a classic barn coat. You know, you think LL Bean when you think about these. But I just love the unique twist on a barn coat. And if you buy this, I mean, you're the only person who's going to have this coat. It's an underknown brand, and it's a unique piece from them. I think they do pretty limited runs. So just, you know, one of the things I want to do with the site is kind of expose people to brands that I don't think get enough love. And this is one that is a perfect example of that. With all these drops, I'm trying to get a good mix of designer and vintage. So included in here, I have this 1996 Steely Dan Tour t-shirt. Now, I love Steely Dan. If you're familiar with the band, you'll know that they are mostly a studio band. So they did not tour very often, which also meant that they did not have a lot of merch available. So this is kind of a unique one. In the 90s, they did a couple years where they put a band together to do a tour and they played all the hits. And this is from that. This is really cool design where it's lyrics from the song Bad Sneakers. It's got the pina colada on the back, if you know, you know, and all of the tour dates. I've had this shirt before. I've sold it at a pop-up. I managed to get another one and decided to put it on the website. All right, let's talk about some pants. These are from OrSlow, which we just discussed with the denim fun shirt. And these are their French work pants. I love these pants. They're actually the pair of pants I'm wearing right now in khaki. They call them French work pants because they are basically just a repro of French work pants. So you have this half elastic waist, but you still have belt loops, so you can still wear a belt, button fly. And the real star here is just this really nice herringbone twill fabric. I don't know if my camera's gonna pick it up, but you're just gonna have to take me on my word here. These are just a great pair of pants, straight leg, kind of a classic proportions, comfortable with the elastic waist, and a white pair of pants for the summer. I mean, I'm not saying anything new here, it's the best. And lastly, you know, we're looking at things for spring and summer, so we had to talk about this. This is from Kapital. If you know them, you'll recognize this piece. It's kind of become an iconic one for them. They call this the Aloha shirt. I'm assuming this is just because of the camp collar, loop collar. It's not really what you'd think of with an Aloha shirt because it's not printed in a floral fabric, but instead has this skeleton design. I think it's been, you know, maybe 3 or 4 years since they started doing these skeleton motifs, and yeah, it's kind of just become what they're known for. What's cool about this one too is it's new with tags, so you know, not even secondhand. Sometimes that happens. People reach out to me for consignment and they have stuff they've never worn before, and I love to sell these pieces because obviously, you know, it's better for them to be worn than sitting in the back of someone's closet. So that makes 10 pieces from my most recent drop. If you liked these, there are a lot more just like it. I listed 75 this past weekend, and there's probably another 75 from my original drop at the beginning of April. In the meantime, if you liked this video, a thumbs up is appreciated. And if you want to comment, please let me know what your favorite piece was out of the 10 that I just showed you. Any engagement here is appreciated as I am still getting my foothold here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.